But besides adding and subtracting, the human sense of numbers involves a large element of perception. It's what allows humans to grasp the idea of more and less. The baby human, like the adult of the species, does that by comparing and contrasting. 6-month-old Waverly knows that there are fewer people in this line in comparison with this one. She knows this because she sees them side by side. An adult knows at a glance that the ice cream line is shorter than the popcorn line. But Waverly only knows this when the difference between the two lines becomes greater. Psychologists have found that at 6 months of age, the ratio must be 2 to 1. The popcorn line must be twice as long as the ice cream one for Waverly to understand which is longer. Researchers have learned that Waverly can't tell which of the 3 piles in front of her has the most donuts. Only when the difference is large enough can she tell visually that the one on the left is smaller than the one in the middle. But she still can't tell the difference between the one in the middle and the one on the right. So when does the baby human move beyond perception and actually begin to think in numbers? Is it once they are able to count? At 2.5 years of age, Mackenzie can recite the numbers from 1 to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, please now.
Her father, like every proud parent, thinks his child can count.
8, 9.
But what does she understand about those numerals? Does she understand that the words she is saying actually signify an amount of things?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Closer
What's after 9?
10.
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What's after 5?
A table.
But her fingers point randomly to the crackers, assigning them arbitrary numbers.
But don't touch them.
Okay, how about now?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Even so, somewhere in the back of her mind, she knows that counting and numbers have something to do with lining things up and sorting.
Is that 9? What number is this? If that's 9, what number is this? Say 10?
I haven't in the middle.
Okay. Can you give that a 3 goldfish?
And what happens when her father asks her for 3 crackers?
Don't move. Don't dump it out.
2.
Don't eat them.
Wait.
She simply repeats her mechanical counting and has no idea how many she's given her father.
I don't eat them.
Well, like all the
Don't
close
eat
stuff
them.
we can do.
Don't eat them. I don't nothing to. Don't eat them. It's counting time.
It'll be a few years yet before she really understands what counting is.
Put that one. Can you put one on there?
Numbers and counting are one way humans organize their thoughts about the world around them.
Oh, nice. It's a house, a tall tower.
Sorting and forming categories are another.
This one?
Baby humans begin this process of thinking far earlier than most people would imagine.
Right there.
It's a complicated mental activity that shows they can perceive deeper patterns in their surroundings.
Yes, you did, Rhea.
Things can be sorted by shape, color, and size.
Good job.
It may look like child's play, but it is fundamental to understanding far more sophisticated concepts.
You do it.
It's the foundation of logical reasoning. Having learned to sort, Caitlin knows that only the animals belong inside the barn when day is done. Because now she's beginning to understand that the world has an underlying sense of order. The next step will be discovering how to control it, and that they obey certain physical laws. They begin to experiment with those objects. They discover that some enable them to accomplish tasks that they couldn't otherwise manage. Gradually, they enter an exciting new phase of development, the tool user. Amanda Woodward wanted to know at what age the baby human understands that something can be used as a tool. She establishes that 8-month-old Clay would like to play with the rubber duck. At this age, he can easily find and retrieve hidden objects. But will Clay be able to figure out that if he pulls the cloth toward him, he will be able to retrieve his toy? That the cloth can be a tool? Clay is still too young to understand that. But what happens when a child is a few months older? For 11-month Austin, it's no problem at all. Time and again, he knows that the cloth is the key to getting his toy. He understands how to use it as a tool. But will 8-month-old Clay have to wait until he's 11 months before he can understand this? Amanda Woodward carefully demonstrates that the cloth can actually be of some use. He immediately catches on. That's how the baby human learns. As with all good scientists, observation is the key. Humans are tool users. Although tool use has been seen in a number of other primates, the range and sophistication of tools that humans use is vastly more developed. One of the first tools the baby human encounters is the spoon. Although it takes a while to master. Getting food to the mouth is a complicated process. No wonder it's such a mess. Sometimes the only solution is to abandon the spoon in favor of the basic tool available to all primates, the hand.
She does sometimes.
It allows them to pick out the smallest of morsels.
He's asleep, so it's...
And years later, if they choose, perform the most delicate acts of surgery. But learning to use the right tool for the task may take some time. Because the spoon is such an important tool, researchers have been able to use it to study how the baby human learns over time.